Yep. Back to the show all alone, without anybody. Screaming baby in the background. Lots of pressure on you. Lots of pressure. Can you handle it? I don't know. You can handle it. No, doesn't look like you're handling it. Nope. Not at all. Not at all. No.
I can do this.
No, you cannot.
Shut up! I can do this.
All right.
Welcome back to ITeachHerSheWins. Today we're going to talk about...
Come on. Say the name. Say it.
Thieves Den!
Too much of an Italian accent, my friend.
Thieves Den!
Nope.
Thieves Den!
Are you Italian?
Thieves Den!
Nope. I don't think you can do this.
Thieves Den!
Even worse.
Thieves Den!
Thieves Den.
Oh, what? Cheater! Cheater!
Welcome back to ITeachHerSheWins for another review today with no one, just me and Mr. Raccoon, no guest. Bummer, but you shouldn't need another guest because the game is pretty interesting and intriguing. As you know, the title is Thieves Den by Alice Davis, published by Daily Magic Games. You're gonna be a master thief, sending your people around the city to get treasure, which in turn are gonna be sold to other shittier people to get prestige. It's a game that is set in the universe of 10 Minutes Heist The Wizard Tower, the famous game by Nick Zbicki, if I pronounce it correctly, still published by Daily Magic Games. So you will see a lot of resemblance with certain mechanics, definitely the art is the same artist, and it's a board game that plays between 2 and 5 players, takes approximately 30/45 minutes, more toward 30 minutes because you can, especially after a few games and you know the mechanics and the rules, you just go like, it can go very quickly. The art is by Dennis Martinez. I always like to show you some pictures so you get your own idea because I think art is so subjective. What is good art? What is art to start with? So you're seeing it right now. I can tell you that Dennis Martinez, it's a game artist and an illustrator from Kiev, Ukraine, that's what you say, Ukraine, sorry, I'm Italian, and has designed 10 Minutes Heist The Wizard's Tower. So as I was saying, there are so many similarities. Definitely the style is very intriguing, it fits the theme, but you're seeing by yourself. So thank you, Mr. Martinez. The type of game, it's a worker placement. Basically, it's a worker placement. The core of the mechanics are worker placement. With a card drafting component, you will see structure in 3 rounds. At the beginning of each round, players draft cards, and then includes also a certain twist with pattern building and set collection components. But overall, is a worker placement. The rules are fairly simple. The goal of the game is to be the player with the most prestige points at the end of 3 rounds. Each player is given a player board, 3 thief tokens, your workers, and is never allowed to have more than 6 thieves or 8 treasures on the player's boards. You will see the resources of the game are treasures, 5 different types, from tome to potions and so on. And on any given round, the round is structured in 3 different parts: the scouting phase, the thieving phase, and the cleanup phase. The scouting phase is the card drafting phase. At the beginning of each round, there is a little strategy there. It's quite important. Players are given 4 location cards. They choose one, give the rest of the card to another player, reveal the card that they've chosen, resolve any instant abilities, and they continue until each player has 3 location cards above his player board area. And location cards are important because that's where the thief tokens, the workers, will be placed throughout the game. And it's interesting because you will be able to place thieves also on other players' location cards. There is a strategic component there, but we'll get into that later. So the first phase, scouting phase, drafting cards. Okay, like Seven Wonders and many other games. But that's an interesting component for a worker placement. Then there is the thieving phase. That's the action phase. Player alternate taking one action. They can take overall as many actions as they want, as they can afford or they choose to, and in any order. There are 6 different actions. 2 that are very similar, I'm gonna go with them first, and are available to all players at any time, even if another player has already performed that action, are burgle a treasure and recruit a thief. Burgle a treasure, you return 2 of your thief tokens to the supply in exchange of 1 treasure token of your choice. And recruit a thief, you return to the general supplies 2 treasures of your choice to get 1 thief token from the supply. Then we have the deliver a treasure to the witch action. On the board there is an area dedicated to delivering treasures to the witch. You merely spend one treasure token of the type that you've chosen that has not been already occupied by another player. So there is some kind of a race there to do that, I mean, if that's your strategy. And you gain immediately prestige points equivalent to the type of treasure you return. For instance, tome, it's rarer and more prestigious than potion. So if I was to spend a tome token, I would get 4 prestige points. For a potion, I would get 1. So you see the difference, the big difference. Then there is the using power tile action. There are 3 slots for power tiles. Power tiles change every round, so there will be 9 power tiles available throughout the game. And they have special powers. You spend, provided that the slot is not occupied, so again there is some racing component there, you spend any type of treasure you place it on a slot of the power tile you want to use, and immediately resolve the effects. There are 11 power tiles with completely unique powers. Just to give you an idea, the one I like the most is the one that gives you immediately 3 thief tokens. Pretty powerful, right? Or they can give you prestige points, they can allow you to swap location cards and then playing another action and so on. They're very interesting. And then there is the 5th action, stealing from a location. As we said, you have been drafting location at the beginning of the game. You pretty much place one of your thief tokens on an empty space on a location card and immediately get the reward. You can place it on your opponent location cards. That's very tricky. However, it comes with a price because your opponent immediately gets his owner bonus for the card, which is on the top right of the location card. And not only that, you will see with the cleanup phase, location cards go face down by the player's player board and the person takes the thief token. So if you play your thief token on your opponent location card, well, bye-bye thief token. I mean, you forfeit that token. Your opponent will play next round with that token. And then, but that's a very important action because that's how you get resources. That's how you get your treasures, by placing thieves on location cards. Of course, there are other ways that you've seen. And location cards has also instant effects that are immediately resolved in the scouting phase that we've analyzed before. They might give you resources, thieves, or there might be other effects connected there. There is also a small take that component. Some location cards allows you to destroy your opponent's resources, and so on. The final action, there is fencing a treasure. There are always 6 fence cards by the board. They require a player to place a thief token and spend exactly the number and the type of treasures indicating the card in order to gain immediately prestige points, a juicy reward. That's the core of the game. That's how you really get a lot of points. When you perform that action, you take a card that hasn't been chosen before. It's interesting to know that it is immediately substituted with another one, so there are always 6 cards there. You place it above your player board, and spend the thief, spend exactly the type of, that's a pattern building component, the type of treasures that are requested, and get prestige points. So, and that's the game. You do that, you keep alternating, taking action until you pass. When all players have passed, it goes to the cleanup phase. You can pass at any time, and it's interesting because if you pass, you might not be targeted by other players' cards effects. For instance, if you say destroy one of your opponent's treasures, I passed, I'm untouchable. And then there is the cleanup phase. Everything is returned to the supply with the exception of the thief tokens that are on the location cards, maybe placed by your opponent, that goes down to your player board. And then you take the location cards that you've been playing with and the fence card that you've acquired and put them face down by your board. Why? Because when the game is over, you calculate your prestige points and add some additional bonus coming from two sources. One is a skin card that you are given at the beginning of the game. It's your secret mission as a master thief, and as a set collection component based on location cards. If you have two types of location card together, for each set like that you gain a certain amount of prestige points. The other source of prestige points, that's the most important one, is the fence cards. Fence cards have a different symbol on the top right, and for each type of fence card, if you have, whoever's got the majority gets additional bonuses. And like for the deliver a treasure to the witch action, the bonuses vary depending on how rare the symbol is. They vary, for instance, between 3 and 5, so it's a big deal. You might be the only one who's got that type of fence cards and get boom, 5 prestige points at the end. So it's very interesting. So those are the rules, very simple. And if I was to give you an advice, potential pros and cons of the games, I want you to have your own opinion, but if I had to highlight some characteristics, definitely a potential pro. It's very quick game, easy to learn, easy to play, is interesting enough, is a worker placement, but it's a gateway game. I mean, anybody could play this game. And components are many, are very juicy. There are tokens, the game board, cards, location cards, fence cards, skin cards, and it's definitely like I said, it's definitely a gateway game, and overall a light worker placement. So those are all positive things, at least in my humble opinion. Potential cons, maybe because it's so light, for people out there who are looking for deep strategy, this could be not the game for you. To give you an idea, there are many things you can do on your turn, don't misunderstand me, and again, take this with a grain of salt, because I play 4 games with different players, but overall, so not 40, so take it with a grain of salt. The most important strategy here seems getting fence cards and trying to get as majorities of many symbols as possible, because at the end you get so many points out of that. The set collection component with the skin cards, I think is not as important as getting fence cards. So to connect to what I was saying, for people trying to aiming at a game with several layers of deep strategy, well, here my first impression seems to be, well, the most important strategy is fence cards. So that could be a potential cons. Similar games, it's pretty unique. Like it combines, of course, mechanics that are well known, but in a pretty unique way. Definitely incorporates some mechanics of 10 minutes ties, the Wizard Tower, with some basic working placement mechanics, like, I don't know, Lords of Waterdeep. So I would say that, yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching us, because after all, he hasn't spoken a lot, but Mr. Raccoon has been here the entire time. Thank you, a great guest. Yes, can I shake your hand? Alright. Well, thank you guys for watching us, and check it out. Definitely going again to similar games, being in the universe of 10 minute size, the Wizard Tower. If you like the game, you're gonna like this one, trust me. So have a great day. Bye bye from beautiful Pennsylvania, and that's it. ITeachHerSheWins. Woo! Do you like Thieves Den, baby? Adelina? Do you like it? I know, rules are easy, that's right. Good job. Alright. I think we got it, Ariel. What do you think? Pronta? Ready? Let's go.